Hey, how's it going? My name's Tyler. This is the TJR Auto channel, and if you're new, welcome, and if you are a returner, then welcome back. So in today's episode, we're kind of just putzing around as per usual. It's decent weather out. I only had a couple things to do. I had to fix my garage door because the garage door people came here and didn't really fix it, but they still charged us. So I figured if I break it, then I'll just blame them. But it seems like I fixed it, I think. I don't really know. It's holding up for now, so that's good. But as you can see, actually, my hands are a little dirty, and I'm a little wet. I've changed clothes like twice today already. But we're back here on the side of my house with the beautiful black half-cut GTO. So luckily today, I was actually able to get the HVAC box out. I was able to get the steering wheel and the airbag off of the column finally, so that's good news. As you can tell, it's basically just bare in here. I did cut that carpet out. Funny enough, the french fries did get moldy, for anybody wondering. They are now spotted like a leopard, so that's kind of scary, but that's there. A little bit of wiring here. It's basically all trash because it's been cut by the previous guy and whatnot, so maybe I can just save the pigtails. But I also started getting a bunch of stuff out of here. I'm thinking I kind of want to repair my dolly today. Maybe put this thing back up on the dolly, strap the front of it to that dolly, maybe put some chocks of wood to the front crash support, so this thing's actually easy, you know, not easy, but a lot easier to move down the little yellow brick road. Hopefully the Ranger runs, so that'll be fun because I have to move the Ranger to get this behemoth out of here. But I really wouldn't mind vacuuming up again, removing more glass, and maybe just power washing everything, just so at least it's a clean slate to work with. But we're almost there. And then the front subframe, as you can tell, it's caked with shit, so I also wouldn't mind throwing a set of wheels onto this, maybe putting the other part of it on a dolly so I can easily roll this thing out into the front and maybe power wash and clean them both up at the same time. And I wouldn't mind maybe putting this next to the yellow car, my beautiful Gemma, who thankfully has been good to me this week. All right, we don't need this plane because we don't like copyright. Well, stay there. Wheel has been, oh yeah, so you can see actually the parts I'm saving off the black front clip. This is ABS pump to brake master. Don't know which way they actually go, but yeah, I figured those lines were actually easy to get out. They're good. Heater core lines, that Verizon box. Bag, steering wheel. These are the windshield wiper fluid lines. Those two, I'm just gonna keep the brackets. The guy had cut the lines already. This is what the HVAC box looks like. So that's that. But in the time lapse, I replaced this broken wheel, so now it's not as broken, so that's good. I figured this big ass cart can probably be put under these two frame rails here. This is basically the same width as this brick path, so this is probably the easiest thing to do, is put that on the ground, put that up on it, whatever. And like I said, maybe some chocks of wood on top of that with a strap can get us to the crash bar, and this thing will be mobile. The doctor said I can't do any heavy lifting, because for those who don't know, I actually have like multiple heart problems. But instead of doing something heavy, I'm gonna just do something light. Yeah, it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. How'd I do? Oh, that could work. I'm not gonna lie, that actually didn't take much time at all, and that actually went very smoothly. Well, this is the furthest to the house the half cut's been since I got it, and it will be going back in that corner most likely, but at least for now, it's out here. I can power wash it, vacuum it, get her cleaned up, but most importantly, I want to park it next to this. Well, park this next to this, and then get some pictures, because how many times am I gonna have this photo opportunity, you know? All right, well, my half-ass cleaning did pretty good. As you can see, got some water pulled up in the foot panel, so I'll probably just punch a hole in the lowest spot just to try to drain most of that. But cleaned up pretty well for, again, my half-ass cleaning without pressure washing it. Definitely gonna pressure wash this thing tomorrow to really get the rest of the gunk out, but it seems like it actually cleaned up pretty well. Looks like the worst of our, got a lot of surface rust in that area, right under that brackets, that actually holds the PCM for the motor, the ECM, whatever the f you want to call it. A little bit of surface rust there. You can really see the rust over there for the tub 2, the fender. Over there you can see it behind that seam sealer. But overall, this is actually a really clean slate to work with. Oh, I just noticed all that gray stuff. It's funny. But yeah, everything else actually cleaned up relatively well for spraying some, engine greaser, degreaser on it, and just hitting it with that, like my wheel brush. So can't complain. Cleaned up pretty good. But I'm gonna drill some holes in the floor, let her drain some more, and maybe I'll roll the subframe out tonight and give it a quick clean too. All right. Out of breath. I got the front subframe out front. I threw on my old charcoal wheels. Out of breath. Whew. There's probably an easy way to move this, but I had to pick it up from that skinny square bar and basically walk it back and forth because, as you can tell, this bitch loves being cambered. But it is funky not seeing, a huge mess back there anymore. Obviously still got a couple things, but since I just went through that agony, I might as well clean it tonight, see how it comes out. I'm probably not gonna go balls to the wall with it, but if I get majority off, then it'll be a lot easier tomorrow. I went a little more ham on scrubbing this thing just by hand. And you can tell it's still beaten up like it's ceramic coated, so there's still oil on it somewhere. But you can see like that is supposed to be silver, and it's just like thick and black gunk. So that needs a lot of love. Yeah, I tried to get most of the crevices and whatnot, basically like any of the pain in the ass areas, just to kind of get it over with tonight. So I was all up in there fingering it with a rag. But yeah, I guess since this is done, I'll probably let this drip dry for a couple minutes. Well, guys, it is 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and we are pulled over. The hazard's on, because
should have went to church.
That's all I'm saying. We could have went and prayed. Honestly, if we went and prayed, we probably wouldn't be here. So I'm pretty sure the input shaft is dead again. I took a right-hand turn at that light up there, and I went to bank second to third. Oh, look at that beautiful caprice. This is why you make car friends. But went to bang second to third coming from that light, and it just revved up in third gear and didn't go anywhere, and then it started clicking. So I'm pretty sure the input shaft is gone, and if you put the car in the gear and try to let the clutch out, the car don't move. So yeah, she'll be coming home on a flatbed today. I think this is the first time this car's gotten picked up on a flatbed. I think this is. Well, there's always a first for everything. All right, this is in neutral with the clutch in. How did it go away again? That's fucking ridiculous. All right, let's try to go through some gears. First gear. Nothing. That's foot on the brake, foot off the clutch. With it in gear. Let's try second. Haha, nothing. Nice. Third gear. This is the one I blew it up in. Okay, still nothing. All right, fourth. All right, fourth gear works.
Yeah.
And see how it wanted to stall out? My foot's on the brake all the way. That's me letting the clutch out. So it wants to stall out in fourth. So, all right, so fourth gear probably could have gotten us home. Fuck that. Fifth? Nothing in fifth. Sixth? Nothing in sixth. What about reverse?
I hear something.
Me too. No, nothing. All right, so fourth gear. It's probably input shaft. That's my guess. All right, ladies and gents. Still have my boy Mike with me. We got the AC running. It's doing something. It's nicer than nothing. And outside the garage, on my dirty window, we have Gemma. The tow truck dropped her off. Took about 2 minutes total. Wasn't bad at all. He actually let me ride the brakes off the tow truck. So she's out there. I don't really know what the game plan with that is. I'm still going to try to figure that out. But I figure while this is in here, I might as well do my original Sunday plan with running the AC and taking all my measurements. And then I guess I can go outside, compare it to the car in a little bit, and we'll see how bad this job is really going to be. Clearly, I don't need everything that's here. I've said it a million times. I'm just aiming. I'm really hoping I only need that frame rail from that point forwards, upper rad support and lower rad support. I could probably get away with keeping the yellow upper rad support, but I'd rather just change it all and make sure everything is square. My big concern is this wheel tub. So we're gonna take a bunch of measurements from the strut tower, the frame rail, basically everything. Really not much I can do with the subframe. We'll see what the measurements show us here. I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures with the tape measure out. I'll probably put an example in the video here, just to try to keep decent track of exactly where I was going off of. And I'll also write down all of the measurements as well, so I have the exact measurements that we came up with, and kind of just go from there. All right, so the AC is still chooching up on here with the fan running. It's pretty nice. And me and Mike have just been going crazy with the tape measure, getting a bunch of different measurements. So basically, I have a picture in my phone for each one of these measurements, showing basically where we measured from, where we measured to. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep going. It doesn't hurt to have more than we need, but we're just measuring everything that we can do here. And then at some point today, we'll probably go outside, do some measuring on the yellow car, and actually see how far things are off. And again, that will show us what I actually need to replace when the time comes. All right, guys, well, I opened up the garage and let all the AC out. It was nice while it lasted, but I just punched in, and I guess maybe I'll do like a quick roll through on this video so you guys can see how I went about doing it. Nice little chopper. I took all of the pictures that I took with Mike earlier, as well as all the measurements. I combined them in my notes with a little description of exactly where we measured from or to, so that it just made it easier in me understanding where they were going. So what I just did was I did center of strut tower to center of strut tower, matches identical to the black front cut. You probably can't see it past the sun back there in the garage. So strut tower to strut tower seems to be straight. Cowl to strut tower seems to be straight as well. And then I also measured from cowl to this hole here, and that also seems to be good. So in my eyes, that basically means that this stuff seems good here. It's more so just the frame rail that's damaged, which has the subframe tweaked with the frame rail. So I think that's the case, which is exactly what we're looking for. I still kind of got to come up with a game plan, but I think I know what I want to do, even though I don't want to do it, which is going to be put the car down now, basically rip the thing apart and start chugging away at getting the frame rail taken care of, as well as basically the upper and lower radiator support, the headlight buckets, and the front crash bar. So I'm trying to leave as much intact on this car and also leave as much intact on the black car, to do the swap. So I'm hoping, and I guess I'll just show you on the black car, my thought process after doing some measurements, and you know, at least that's a relief to my day, is I am hoping I can, let's put that there. I'm hoping I can basically take this frame rail, you know, undo the spot welds that go to the wheel tub and to the back frame rail. So basically take this frame rail and leave it connected to this front rad support and the lower rad support, as well as the you know, crash bar and or radiator bumper support, as well as the headlight brackets, because mine are chewed up. So I'm hoping to leave, you know, that stuff together. And then I do need to figure out if I want to pull this frame rail as well off the driver's side, or if I just want to cut it somewhere and splice it into Gemma's, because hers was a little crunched up front, but it was definitely savable compared to the passenger side, which took most of the impact. So I think that's going to be a decent game plan. Basically, before I move the car or move any of the stuff while this is in here, I'll probably one day this week after work get my ass into gear, grind out all of the seam sealer and any of the spots that I need to not have it there. I need to round up some spot weld drill bits, start chugging away at some spot welds and whatnot. I don't think I need any more measurements off of this car. So, you know, again, we took so many measurements. We took, you know, you could definitely take more, but I'd say this is enough. And you got to think there's a picture to go with each one of these, and this is relative to where things are landing. So I think we have enough info that I'm confident enough that we can kind of just jump right into it. There's really no prep work to this besides spot welds and seam sealer, you know, getting all the seam sealer out of there. I mean, I got to do something stupid like pull the windshield washer fluid, but I can't do that until the car is higher up off the ground, because that basically has to drop out the bottom. So it's like stupid little stuff like that, and like the, you know, the hood latch cable and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's going to be the game plan. Basically take off this whole front section with that bottom frame rail, and then the rest of this is basically going to be scrap. But I may just kind of tuck it to the side for now, take a couple more pieces off of it, like the strut towers and the other frame rail, just to have them, but I don't think I'm actually going to be using them. So yeah, so I think that's going to be the game plan for at least this. And then for my, you know, well, was running and driving GTO, it still runs, I just don't drive. I guess once I get all the pieces off the black car that we need, I will yank the drivetrain out of this. From that point, while the drivetrain's out, I can diagnose the transmission, order the parts for that while I start working on doing the frame rails and the subframe and whatnot, and kind of just go from there. I mean, at this point, I gotta get in the gear and really start rounding up some parts, rounding up paint, supplies, all that kind of bullshit, and really just start chugging at it, because I don't want this project to take long. And since she decided to, you know, die today, it's kind of now or never. I really don't want this project to linger more than it already has been, because I've been pulling my hair waiting on doing this, and now I kind of have no excuse. So, and then I think the subframe itself, I'm still up in the air about if I should pull everything off of it and have a raw subframe, which I might do just for mock-up purposes when I go to swap everything onto this car, just so I can see if the subframe is straight like it's supposed to be. But yeah, I think all the measurements I took today off of the subframe mounts, which, if I'm correct, are these like square nuts that are welded onto the top of the frame, because the bolts come up through the bottom, it looks like, and they actually come through like this hole and this hole, it seems. So I think once, you know, just off those measurements, the subframe has to be straight, you know. So I don't think the subframe needs to be in this car to take any measurements. I think we can kind of wing it. But yeah, I guess teardown will be soon. Well, it's going to be a little bit of suffering, a lot of headaches, a lot of frustration, probably some money, and a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, but it'll definitely be worth it when we're done. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. This is going to be a kind of a rough ride, so hopefully you guys stick around for it. Maybe we'll make some new friends along the way. But yeah, this is going to be a nice group effort. I already know I'm definitely going to be asking Webkey to get involved to help me yank in the drivetrain. I need to borrow his engine hoist for it. And I know Petrucelli's definitely going to want to be here. My boy Mike, he's definitely going to want to be here for the welding, and he's kind of just game to get dirty and do anything. So again, you know, when you get some good friends, everybody's in a good mentality state, and everybody's just ready to dive in, and they know what the objective is, and they know where the end goal wants to be. And they might not understand exactly where I want the end goal to be, because obviously I have a little bit different thought process than like a friend would you know, I own the car, they don't own the car, so obviously they know what needs to be done, but I know what at the end I want to get done. And again, it's just going to be a lot of mind and just a lot of thinking, a lot of patience, and a lot of time into this. But I'm hoping we can knock this out pretty quick. And again, I am blocking the driveway. I feel bad because I just fixed the garage door for my mom, and now I'm the one hogging up the garage as always. So I guess Bonnie will be on the back burner. Maybe I'll fix her air conditioning on the side because that's a pretty easy fix. Just going to take a couple hours. So definitely not going to be playing with her trans anytime soon. Hopefully her trans holds together. I probably won't be beating her as hard as I usually would just to try to save the frustrations. But sorry for the ramble, everybody. This is one of those days where it's like, you know, what else can go wrong? Now they say that something's going to happen. So we'll knock on wood. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I love all of you. I always will appreciate all of the support, the likes, the comments, the subscribers, the views, everything. At the end of the day, when I'm laying in bed and I had a bad day, these are the things that I look at. You know, the comments sections is what I go through and try to talk to people. And I don't know, it truly is just an awesome thing being able to have, like, not even a fan base, but, you know, like a group. I almost want to say like a group of similar minded people like me, which could be a good or a bad thing. But, you know, people that are just, you know, you guys obviously watch my content, whether it's for me, whether it's for the cars, whatever the case may be. I'm just here making it, and I love being able to make a connection with people like you guys. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything. I wouldn't be posting this stuff if it wasn't for all of you guys. So once again, thank you for everything. I think we're at 1,423 subs as of today, which is just awesome. So let's keep it growing. When we hit 1,500, maybe we'll get to go do some dirt nasty shit if I stop breaking stuff. But this is where I'm going to end it. This is where we're at. Happy Sunday, everybody. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one.